Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and in this video today we are going to talk about how we build a six-figure business organically. Remember, that means unpaid marketing methods. In our first year being in business, selling online courses and coaching. So let's talk about how I launched my first course in the first place, because that's how everything began. So when I first started out in this particular business, I sold my first course via a 5-day online challenge. The challenge was free to attend. I managed to get 155 people signed up, registered for this particular challenge, and I found those people organically on Facebook. So basically what I did throughout those 5 days, and there's an entire strategy behind how to run a profitable challenge, I built a connection with these people. I taught them some stuff, so it's not one of these fluffy events you sign up for, you go and attend and you don't learn actually anything. All you do is like sit for 2 hours a day and listen to the coach's pitch. It's not like that. You actually learn stuff every single day. You learn one new thing and you have to implement the thing and you have to do homework. I also implemented different prices to encourage people to actually show up and do the homework. We gave away loads of free stuff, things like that. So there's different things that you can implement into your challenges in order to increase engagement and to success rate as well. So at the end of the challenge, I pitched my course where people signed up for. I sold a 6 weeks coaching program, which I was holding live. It wasn't just recorded, it was also me showing up every single week, talking to my students, right, answering questions and helping them get through different obstacles. It was a 6 weeks course delivered live, and I made over $6,000. And I think it's really not bad. I think it's really amazing to have that, especially if you haven't created that product yet. I hadn't created any video lessons, nothing. I did not put that effort in unless I sold it. And that's what I'm stressing out with my students so much. Please go out and sell your thing first so that you have the market proof before you go and create it, because you don't need to spend hours and hours, sometimes weeks or sometimes even months, preparing lessons, preparing beautiful looking slides, getting the recordings in, getting the lighting right, all of these things. You don't need to do any of these things unless you have already sold your programs. And here's the good thing though, out of these 155 people, I think it took me 2 weeks to get those people signed up. Obviously not everyone showed up, not 100% of the people showed up, not 155 people showed up every day and did the thing. Many people just don't even open the emails. You need to be aware of that too. However, that doesn't mean they will not buy from you at a later stage, right? People get really confused about these launches if they don't work out the way they want them to work out, because actually guys, 50% of the people who come into your ecosystem are going to buy from you, and the other 50%, the other half, will never buy from you, okay? Let's focus on these 50%. I keep saying this throughout my videos, and I'm sure you've heard this before. 15 out of these 50 will buy right now, okay? And the other 85% of these 50 will buy in the next 90 or 60 days or even later. These 155 people were still in my funnel, and the majority of them bought something else from me later. A second point why we build such a successful business is also we get results for our students. Now, let me make this clear. Not everyone who will sign up for your coaching programs, for your courses, for whatever you're selling, will get 100% success rate. That's just impossible. Just think back to your times back in school. Okay, not everyone is 100% successful. Not everyone gets straight A's. That's the same thing when you run a coaching business, okay? Some people will show up and will do the work. Some people will never show up and will never do the work. Some other people will also not show up but still do the work. Some other people will always show up but never do the work. By showing up, I mean, for example, joining the Zoom meetings every week. If you show up every week, that's great. But if you never implement anything you're talking about in that session, it doesn't help either, right? So I had both clients. I had people who never showed up to any session, and then they signed a bunch of clients first time round, running a challenge like I taught them. So you will always have successful clients and not so successful clients. And at the beginning, that was something I really struggled with, because when I started this business, I was convinced, I truly was convinced everyone can do this. I truly thought really everyone can build this. But the more I learned along my way, the more I got coached myself by other coaches, you will see that not everyone will do that or can do that. There are so many different factors which play a role in that, which you as the coach or course creator or business owner cannot compete with, right? For example, one of my coaching programs is to help you get launched, okay? To launch whatever you want to launch. Your course, your coaching program, your membership, your services, anything, right? However, I don't have power over what's going on in your home. Are you able to focus? Do you actually sit down, make space, block out time in your calendar and go in watch the videos, follow through with the videos, because only consuming the content is not going to help. You also need to implement. Are you actually able to go past perfectionism and just implement and publish and launch it anyway, even though in your mind it may not be perfect? All of these kind of things. Like, yes, this perfectionism is a thing I can help get my students through, and I manage it most of the time to help them see, hey, progress over perfection, because that's a very big thing many people struggle with. There's other things you as a coach you can't compete with, like if there is a partner at home who is constantly nagging for attention, constantly talking into your face and saying, hey, don't do that, it's boring, because of their insecurities or whatever else is going on in their life, you can't compete with that. So you cannot compete possibly with anyone who is trying to get away the attention from your students, right? So we have specific modules set up on helping them how to focus, how to set boundaries at home, for example. So that's why you can never guarantee the success of your student, because you don't have influence over their entire life. But that being said, it should not stop you from doing your very, very best to get results for your students. So my students actually got really amazing results that first time when we launched that course the very first time. One student made 8 times his investment back in week number 6, following the launch strategy we taught in that course. Another student followed our webinar for launches strategy, and she converted 8% of the people the first time running it, and then she ran it a second time and she converted 12.5% of the people watching that webinar. And she's never done anything online. She didn't start with an email list. She started with 0 social media follower, 0 people on her email list, no website, none of that. She started completely from scratch and still got amazing results like that. So please keep that in mind. You don't have to have a big social media following. You don't have to have any sort of email list in order to get started and achieve great results that will get you started and will leave you hungry for more. And why am I saying you should get results for your students, which is part of the big idea, right? Which is part of why we run such a successful coaching business, because you can use those case studies. You can say like, hey, it's not just us getting those results, but it's also our students who are actually getting results. So it's really important for the people on the outside to also see that not only you as the expert can achieve those results, because it's really easy for them to say, oh, he or she's an expert. Of course, they will achieve those results. But if you can say, hey, all of these students who are in the same position as you, they also didn't have an email list or a social media following, and they achieved great results as well, is very important. It played a very big role in the success of our coaching business. And lastly, a very big part of why we hit 6 figures is once we had the validation of that course, we turned that course into a high ticket offer. So now I'll explain to you how I made $28,000 in 1 month only by doing exactly that and implementing sales calls for the mix as well. So after I run the program, which I've mentioned in part 1 of this video, multiple times, I launched it, I run it again, I launched it again, I run it again, I decided to turn it into a high ticket offer. What does that mean? Well, typically anything below $2,000 is considered as low ticket, and anything above $2,000 is considered as high ticket. But I need to tell you, it's not just changing the price tag of your course. There is many gurus out there, they say, just charge high ticket, just charge high ticket. Well, but no, just don't change the price point, don't change that label. I believe you should also add more value and change the transformation. So that's what we did. We changed the transformation of the entire course, which means that the bigger the transformation, the higher the price point, right? So for example, one of our courses is called 5-figure launches, and that's a transformation that will help you make a quick cash injection really quickly, right? But that doesn't mean you have consistent income coming in, right? It's just like that one cash injection, right? That's the one skill you will learn in that course, which is a launch, which can get you to 5 or 6 figures depending on how you do it and depending on the size of your audience and all of that. That's one particular transformation, so we can charge according to that, what that is worth to the customer. The second program we offer is how to get to 6 figures organically per year. It's a much bigger transformation, right? So the launch course aims to help you have a 5-figure launch, and the Solar Programs coaching program or course helps you to get to multiple 6 figures per year organically on social media, even if you don't have an email list, even if you don't have a social media following, right? See the two differences here? It's a very different transformation. Well, either make 10K or 100K. It's a difference of 90K. That's why the content inside the courses is different, right? Obviously, you have to implement different strategies in order to get to 6 figures per year instead of just learning the launching strategy. Does that make sense? So therefore, we can put a different price tag on it too. And also, I would say it really depends on the involvement of you as a coach. How many sessions do you provide per week talking to your students, if any at all? We provide 2, 1 per week coaching and 1 per week tech. We support people with tech as well. So then there's other different options you can implement, like providing extra support via Voxer or things like that. But how did I actually launch this? How did I actually make those 28K? I'm glad you asked. So I built up a summit called Online Course Talks, where I interviewed over 32 different speakers on how to get to 6 figures, on how they got to 6 figures with their courses or coaching programs. Preparing for this summit was one of the biggest projects I've ever had in my life. I've worked 4 months straight without a break, really hustling and really making this work. So we got some revenue in from selling sponsorship. There are different companies out there who sponsored this summit, who wanted us to mention their brands and give free trials and things like that. Then we sold the All Access Pass, which is a pass where people can get access to the recordings if they missed the live sessions. And then typically you sell a course or coaching program or whatever else, your own product at the end of the summit, which I tried. But I failed in that, and I didn't sell a single copy of my course because it wasn't the right offer for the audience that attended. And here is what I did. I tried to figure out what is the right thing these people want right now. So I sent only one email after the summit announcing this new high ticket offer that I just explained to you, and wrapped up 28K in that month, implementing our sales for coaches strategy. So after I've onboarded the first clients into that high ticket offer, because now I knew it's working, I kept implementing our strategy, which I call the social selling system, which allows us to add 100 leads per week into our funnels, and then we can keep converting from there. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is how we reached 6 figures organically in our first year being in business. However, you can get there a lot faster too, because actually I don't recommend a beginner to run an online summit because it's far too much work, and we have figured out ways how you can get there a lot quicker. So if you would like to brainstorm with me together over your unique situation to see if or how I can help you get there too, click the link in the description below, book in a 10-minute brainstorming call with me, and I will see you there.